Alrighty, so it's me, Lino, and my good friend Kyle here. How you doing, Kyle?
Hey, buddy.
We're gonna watch a fun little video here and make some jokes and kind of be surprised with Nancy Pelosi. Let's start the video.
Warren Buffett, BlackRock, George Soros. It is time to step aside, because there's a new star in town. And it's our beloved, definitely not corrupt, Speaker of the House,
It gives me no pleasure to say this. It breaks my heart.
Congresswoman Nancy Pelosi, also known as history's greatest stock trader. In 2020, while the plebs were suffering, her and her husband made an insane $16.7 million on the money they invested, which means they made a return of more than 50%. Forget Bitcoin, Nancy needs to open up a hedge fund right now so I can dump all my money into it. Let's see how her 50% return compares to some of the most legendary investors. BlackRock, the company that owns the world, was only able to make a measly 13%. Ew. And Warren Buffett? Warren Buffett's company Berkshire Hathaway only went up by 2% in 2020. Pathetic. You see, one of the biggest perks of being a member of Congress is that you get to participate in legal, repeat after me, legal insider trading. That's why Nancy Pelosi was able to buy Tesla stock right before Joe Biden signed off on pro-EV laws.
I just want to stop it right there. How fair do you think that shit is? That politicians can buy stocks of companies before they announce a large purchase of that company's product?
Seems fine to me, dude. I don't see what the problem is.
Dude, I just think it's crazy, by the way, where it's like, you and I would be in jail. Like, let's say you and I knew Elon and we were having dinner, and he's like, United States is about to make a big purchase of a lot of my cars. Oh, let's buy a bunch of stock. We would go to jail for that. Martha Stewart went for jail for some stuff like that.
Believe it or not, we have a mutual friend. I'll tell you who it is off this. Who works in finance, and I was kind of poking his brain about it, and he said that if he did any of this, he's going to jail.
Yeah.
I sent him kind of the same thing, and he was like, "Oh, dude, it's huge. Like nobody could get away with it." And he's not a big time. He's a low level dude working his way up. But they at that level have crazy strict no insider trading laws that they have to follow.
Yeah.
That she's blatantly, like she's not even hiding it, getting away with.
Yep. It's no joke, by the way. And it's crazy, but that you and I or regular people are held to a higher standard than the people who make the laws. It's crazy.
The third most powerful person
in the
alive.
world. Yeah. Let's keep going with this video.
That's why she was able to buy options on 4,000 shares of Google right before the House Judiciary Committee voted on antitrust regulation, making her and her husband a cool $5 million on this trade alone. If we traded on insider information, the SEC would fine us up to $5 million as an individual or $25 million as a business entity, and then they would throw us in a prison filled with violent criminals for up to 2 decades. And that's not even close to all the trades Nancy has made. No. Right before Microsoft secured a $22 billion Army contract, her and her husband exercised $1.95 million worth of call options. In 2008, Visa offered Nancy Pelosi access to IPO stock right before the House had to decide on some legislation Visa opposed. So her husband bought 5,000 shares at $44 each, and 2 days later, the price skyrockets to $64. Her and her husband made $100,000 overnight. And the legislation? It was never even taken to the floor to vote. Nancy Pelosi has been a career politician since she was a kid with her dad. She never had a career outside of politics. She never started a business. She was never in a position to build real legitimate wealth. And yet somehow, her and her husband now have an estimated net worth of over $190 million. When her salary as a politician is only around $220,000 a year.
So $190 million is her net worth. Think about that. $190 million fucking dollars. And she makes 220 grand a year to date.
Yeah. I mean, $190 million, dude. That is generational.
She's rich for the next 20 lifetimes.
Yeah. Her great grandkids never have to worry about money.
That is insane.
She's 80 years old. She could live on $10 million, put the rest and do the interest alone. You know what I mean?
It just blows my mind that you can make 220 grand a year and somehow be worth $190 million. It's just,
And you know what's so gross is $190 million, right?
Mhm.
And let's be very clear, 220,000 versus 190 million. That's very much a drop in the bucket. You know, that's what, less than 1%.
Not even.
And
0.0001.
Zero, yeah, right. Okay. And she's made $190 million. Okay, that's not a small amount of money. It's a lot of money. And she doesn't have a single talent. She hasn't done anything above board. She hasn't done anything legitimate. She's never made anything, created anything, done anything worthwhile except be a corrupt politician. And she's made $190 million. Think about that.
We're in the wrong profession.
Most of the time when people make $190 million, they've like sold the biggest album of the year, or they run a movie studio that made $2 billion, you know, or they're oil tycoons who, you know, take all this risk and all that stuff. She has done nothing. She has no risk. Because there's no risk. She decides.
Well, that's the thing. It's the interesting thing where it's like, well, I'm going to invest in this stock, but first we're going to make a purchase of Microsoft in the billions of dollars, or Tesla vehicles, or AT&T special deals, so their price skyrocket. Like, what are you, the master stock predictor, where you're just buying stock before it jumps up to, you know, double or 50% rise in price? That's crazy.
Right.
I don't know.
This is you know how Michael Vick got locked up for 2 years because he was dogfighting?
I hated that, but yeah.
Okay. And Martha Stewart spent 2 years in prison for insider trading.
Ridiculous, but yeah.
Really quick, if Michael Vick was Martha Stewart, the equivalent would be if literally a woman was throwing dogs into a wood chipper.
Literally.
And getting away with it.
Yeah.
That's from a pit bull fight to throwing small chihuahuas into a wood chipper.
No, pugs, like nice little pugs.
Cute little beagles into a wood chipper. That's the escalation from what her and Martha Stewart are doing.
Yeah.
If you say Michael Vick is bad, this person would be throwing dogs into wood chippers. She's just that evil. It's really bad, man. Really, really bad.
It blows my mind, but it's going to get better here. Watch.
When asked about banning insider trading for politicians, this is what she had to say.
Because this is a free market and people, we're a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
If you thought insider trading was bad on Wall Street, it's time to take a walk down Capitol Hill.
She's planning to retire to a community of people she's demonized. Like, if the boss of San Francisco is out of here, I'm definitely out of here.
And if you want a free stock, you can get a stock worth between $3 and $1,000 when you go to public.com stocks or ETFs. Insider trading is when someone has non-public inside information about a company and then uses that information to trade the company's stock. If you have a friend that works at the Ford Motor Company and he told you that the government was about to make Ford the only company allowed to sell in the US and no one in the public knew about it, you buying shares in Ford would count as insider trading. In most of the world, insider trading is illegal for obvious reasons. Even sweet old Martha Stewart went to jail for 5 months for insider trading that saved her from losing just $45,000.
Oh,
Wait. She saved herself $45,000 and she went to jail.
Oh my God. 5 months, dude.
45 grand. That lady's worth so much money. You know what's 45 grand to her? It was like, that's a drop in the bucket where she's like, I don't care about 45 grand. She has to go to jail for that.
Dude, her car is worth $45,000. You have to be kidding me.
Dude, her
And
car
Nancy
is
Pelosi's
worth
worth 190.
She drives a Range Rover.
$190 million, Nancy. Let's do the math. So if she does 5 months for $45,000, what's $190 million? It's a couple years.
Dude, it's at least the rest of her life.
Not $1 million, just $45,000. And yet, politicians are making millions of dollars by trading on government secrets, and none of them are being investigated. And none of this was more blatant than right before the COVID crash in 2020. In the month leading up to February 20th, 2020, 4 US senators sold millions upon millions of shares in hotels and other major companies. 4 days later, the stock market crashed. Was it a coincidence? Were these 4 senators just extremely lucky? Or did the Senate COVID briefing that happened just a month before on January 24th give them an early warning that things were much worse than the public expected? The 4 senators, a mix of Republicans and Democrats, sold between $4.1 to $12.8 million worth of shares right before the market crashes, most likely based on information they got during their briefings. They knew hotels and the hospitality industry was gonna take a hit. They also knew the market in general was gonna nosedive, so they got out ahead in front of the cattle. And when they were questioned about this coincidence, well, they had equally frustrating answers. Senator Richard Burr said he only relied on CNBC News reports to make his trading decisions. Apparently, being briefed on COVID before the panic had nothing to do with him selling his stock in Wyndham Hotels. Senator Dianne Feinstein, who sold up to $5 million worth of stock in Allogene Therapeutics, said her husband was in charge of the investments, and she had no idea what he was doing. Sure. Senators Jim Inhofe and Kelly
That's always their excuse, is like, well, my husband takes care of it. Isn't that funny when Dianne Feinstein got caught? They're like, hey, what happened? She goes, oh, I don't know. My husband, he deals with it.
Try to use this shit as an excuse in court.
Right. In front of a fucking judge.
You know, like, my wife takes care of my finances. I didn't know we were scamming the government. You're in jail.
Your Honor, what do you... The dead bodies. I don't know about these dead bodies. It's my wife. What do you want me to tell you? She's crazy.
Dude, I think that shit is nuts, by the way.
That's a great great out.
It's an out that shouldn't even be an out, though. Like,
No,
how the hell is
exactly.
that's not an out, by the way. Like, you're still in trouble, bitch. Like, you don't get to use that and be like, well, I'm out now. My husband takes care of my finances.
Right.
were the 2 others that dumped their stock. They also apparently knew nothing about why they sold. They were just lucky. While Martha...
All these lucky people, by the way. You know what's funny? Anytime I just make some random trade in stock market, I lose money, like, every time.
Dude, it's like I like to gamble football, right?
No,
and it's like if they go, hey, Kyle. They go, hey, Kyle, all right, what are you betting? And I go, I'm going to take the Patriots +5. And then I just go and I break everybody on the other team's ankles.
Yeah. And then you're like, well, I didn't know that was going to happen, everybody.
Guys, it's free market.
Dude, I hate
Guys,
it.
it's a free market.
Yeah.
I can go out there and cap their kneecap. I can do that. I can legally go out there and smash their knees in with a hammer.
You become the new Washington, D.C. sniper. You're out there just aiming for Washington players.
Taking out whoever the Patriots are playing or whoever. You know? Yeah.
Stewart went to prison for 5 months because she saved a measly $45,000? These senators saved millions upon millions of dollars thanks to their alleged insider trading. An investigation was opened to look into them, but that investigation was dropped just 3 months after the crash.
What a shock, right? The investigation was dropped, right? We investigated Trump for 4 years, but we can't go more than 3 months on this investigation. What is happening?
Dude, are you kidding me? Are you kidding? The paperwork got to a certain level. Dude. And a guy goes, hey man, I want to file this. This is like an injunction against, and they went, you're out of your mind. And they killed the guy.
Yeah, exactly. That guy's dead now. We don't even know his name. He's dead.
And he was just the guy. He was just the male dude. He just had to go drop off the paperwork, and they fucking killed him because they didn't want anybody to know. Yeah, of course, dude. Why would you know that they got somebody in some bureaucratic bullshit somewhere who's just like, yeah, we'll just go ahead and make that not happen. Yeah, but like you said, like Trump fucked a porn star, so we gotta
do that for the next 4 years.
We gotta look.
We'll spend tons of government resources talking about this nonsense for 4 years, but this investigation of millions upon tens of millions of dollars We're just gonna
Right.
drop it after 3 months. No big deal, everyone. It's
Right.
crazy.
Oh, hey, can we get some healthcare?
Yeah. Oh, what are you doing here? Get out of here. Talking about healthcare.
Healthcare? Are you out of your mind?
It's nuts, by the way.
Yeah.
And if you think this was the first time politicians insider traded off of an impending crisis, you are sadly mistaken. Back in 2008, it was even more lawless.
It doesn't
Why
end.
do you feel so compelled to do this?
Harry, we had no choice.
If a politician buys stock in a company because it's about to get a big government contract, that's not technically seen as insider trading, because according to the law, no material corporate information is being shared. That's why leading up to the 2008 crash, Congress members met with the Treasury, got the inside scoop on the impending disaster to come, and 10 senators pulled their money out of the stock market. Less than 2 weeks before the crash happened. The stock market crashes, and the plebs are left to fend for themselves. And during
We're the plebs, Kyle, in case you were confused.
this
Plebs?
time, there were
Plebs, yeah, the plebeians. It's like I don't even know where that word comes from, but we'll look it up after this.
not even any disclosure laws. These politicians did not even have to report that they made these trades. So if you now aspire to become a public servant to take advantage of this insider trading, you gotta learn how to do it while maintaining your pristine public image. And the way you do that is by offshoring your insider trading, a strategy that our Queen of Stocks Nancy Pelosi knows all too well.
Because this is a free market and people, we are a free market economy. They should be able to participate.
You see, even though this insider trading is technically legal, it doesn't look very good in the eyes of the public. That's why we need some plausible deniability. So instead of you doing the trades yourself as a public servant, get your spouse to do the trading on your behalf. Or even better yet, get your kids to do the trading on your behalf. Nancy doesn't do the trading herself, her husband does. And her husband's trades just happen to magically happen in lockstep with important congressional actions. What can I say, my husband just has the Midas touch. Spouses to politicians still have to legally disclose their trades, but it gives you a little cushion, a convenient excuse that you can tell the public. That's why when confronted with these hard questions regarding insider trading, this is what Nancy typically counters with. The speaker doesn't own any stocks. As you can see from the required disclosures, these transactions are marked SP for spouse. The speaker has no prior knowledge or subsequent involvement in any transactions.
You believe that?
No, of course not.
Dude, my wife and I talk about everything regarding finances. What her husband's just running around doing shit, and she's like, "What's happening?"
He just goes out there and has no idea that she's about to sign a piece of legislation that's going to make Facebook $10 billion. He has no idea. They don't talk about that.
No, he's just confused.
And then
like, oh.
she has no idea that he's going to turn around and drop $5 million. What's $5 million bucks, Lino? Like you said, you and your wife are trying to figure out, which credit card bill to pay first.
Exactly.
But they don't talk about, tens of millions of dollars being
coming
invested
out of
into
an
oil.
account. Yeah, exactly. 10 million bucks is missing from the account, but no one's gonna bring that up.
You know what's so annoying about this is it's like any time a popular singer that's really terrible, like Justin Bieber, for example, becomes popular. It's not really Justin Bieber's fault.
No.
It's the fact that everybody supports Justin Bieber. And this is the same thing. It's like, I can't really, if I was Nancy Pelosi, I probably would be doing the same shit.
Wait, let's be clear. I know I would be doing the same thing, and I'd be acting
Right.
like I'm not. Like, I don't know what my wife's doing. My wife does whatever she wants. She's crazy, and I just
Right. And you know that like they go like probably the closest thing to they have to like a real communication is they go, I can't believe people keep allowing us to do this.
They have to back in the closed doors. I guarantee they all laugh with themselves. Just
Right.
Look what we're doing. It's crazy.
And so the people who are at fault are like the people who keep voting them in.
Yeah.
Those are the real problems. Is the fact that we have people like Nancy Pelosi is from San Francisco. And her district is like this 12-block district that if you ever went there, it's a fucking apocalyptic nightmare.
Oh, no, it's garbage. You would never even want to go there. But at the end of the day, that's like she made that joke about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. A glass of water with a D on it could win in her district. Nancy Pelosi's district is the same way.
Right.
You, Kyle, if you got the primary and you won it as a Democrat, you would walk through and win that.
Right.
Because people,
1,000,000%.
Yeah, people don't even know who they're voting for. They just vote for whoever the Democrat is at the top of the ticket.
You can say the same thing about like anywhere on the coasts, anywhere like a governor of California is the same way.
Yeah.
You just have to be the highest ranking Democrat.
Yeah. And it's
nobody is going to.
They don't even bat an eye. They don't even look at who the names are. They just check mark the box and they just keep moving.
That's a good quote. Glass of water with a D on it.
Yeah. That's a Nancy Pelosi quote. She said, Alexandria, because they were talking to her about how Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez won in her district, and Nancy Pelosi said, so anyone could win that district. A glass of water with a D on it could win in her district. And I was like, that was cold. But Nancy Pelosi's district is the same thing. It's not like some battleground district where, you know, there's all these people fighting for the... No, it's a Democratic area. Solid.
Also, I think, is there like a female version of kind of a cuck? Like,
No,
I don't know what you call it or whatever. I don't want to get too,
I don't think females would be down with that at all.
Whatever that is, Nancy Pelosi is doing to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez.
Oh, yeah.
Like Nancy, like to me, if I was to ever sit down and try to talk to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, the first thing out of my mouth would be like, hey, you're on the same team as Nancy Pelosi. Defend yourself. That'd be the first thing I would ask her. How can you defend yourself? Like Nancy Pelosi. And Nancy Pelosi feels the same way. She's like, you can go fuck yourself, you little Brit, you little bitch. You know what I mean? She has this like, I'm the fucking queen here.
And that's how Pelosi feels about it. And I won't lie, like a few times she's made Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez bow down
like
almost.
Right. 100%.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yeah,
and,
a few times that I even was like, oh, she's bringing it to Pelosi. This will be interesting. And then by the end of it, she's fucking kissing the ring. Like, sorry, sir. Like, I was like, whoa, this is not the way I thought this would happen.
Right. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez ran on, I'm going to get Medicare for all as a vote on the floor, right?
Yep.
Well, the only time that ever was even a possibility is if her and the rest of the squad were to say, hey, we're not going to vote Nancy Pelosi in as Speaker of the House until we get Medicare for all as a vote. They kind of floated that as an idea, and it got they were running for the hills because I guarantee you assassination fucking threats were coming at them.
Oh yeah, definitely. Where it's like, never mind, we're gonna do something different now.
Sorry, we didn't mean it.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy.
Fuck them. No health care for anybody.
But the public wasn't satisfied with these legal excuses. So to appease the plebs, Congress passed the Stock Act in 2012. Because having the same people who write the laws punish and police themselves definitely works, right?
Mr. Cantor's remarks about the Stock Act and its importance, that we are here to do the people's business and not to benefit personally from it.
The Stock Act, known as the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act, was created to stop this
right there. Where that is politicians.
Yep.
That is a talent. What she did. Where she says we need to do not what's best for the people, not what is best for us, where we don't benefit, right? She's saying it and she doesn't believe a word of it. Okay.
Wait, I don't believe one person in that room believes that. I believe Republicans, Democrats, they all believe they're there to get themselves rich.
Right. And so that right there, that skill to be able to stand there and say the polar opposite of what you really believe in the Library of Congress is the only skill that politicians really have.
Yep.
And so you just saw the fucking LeBron James of politicians. Sit there.
Nancy Pelosi, I don't like her, but she's one of the best politicians in the game.
Ever, dude. Yeah, ever.
Like, she knows how to get shit done. She's very aggressive.
She knows how to lie. She knows how to sit there. She has no qualms literally saying a bold-faced lie.
Yeah. Whatever it takes.
Whatever it takes. I give no shits.
Yeah.
She's an actor.
A good
you say
one.
The same thing about an actor. Like an actor can go in front of a camera and tell me he's not Leonardo DiCaprio, and I believe him.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly the idea right there. So,
right. Sorry.
No, but this photo here should just upset everyone. It's like, look at all these guys. They're all like, yes, we're getting rich.
insider trading on Capitol Hill and make it illegal. The act was passed in April 2012 when the plebs were all up in arms about this, but once they settled down and moved on to the next outrage just a year later, Congress made a very specific change. They loosened the Stock Act's disclosure requirements to make it incredibly difficult for the public to access their filings. And even if the public could get their hands on the information they needed, Congress members have 45 days after the trade to report it, meaning they have a massive window to profit before anyone finds out. And the Stock Act is enforced by the Department of Justice and the Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. And who funds both of these government agencies? Congress. No one bites the hand that feeds them. So it's not exactly surprising that the Stock Act is so selectively enforced. That's why I am proud to announce that I am now running for senator. Please donate to my campaign and I promise you that I will dedicate my existence to rooting out corruption and letting you know what stocks you should maybe buy or sell. A vote for Jake Tran is a vote for transparency. But in all seriousness, loopholes like these have led to the very lucrative profession of the career politician, where you go in broke, and if you know how to play the system, you can leave a multi-millionaire.
Well, that's the end of that video there. But it's just frustrating to see Nancy Pelosi and a bunch of other politicians are getting super rich during a COVID pandemic while the rest of America is drowning.
Hey, Jake Tran, you got my vote, buddy.
Exactly, dude. Let me know what stocks to buy. I've been trying to figure it out forever.
My entire financial life.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that shit's fucked. Again, like, this won't end until... I was thinking about it the other day. I was like,
so let's wrap up with the solution. What would be the solution from you, Kyle?
Honestly, I know that this sounds dark and almost anarchist, but I truly believe like people have to go to jail.
No.
People, and maybe not actually have to spend time in jail, but like be dethroned. We shouldn't storm a Capitol or whatever, but they should be. I think that the problem is Nancy Pelosi is going to wake up tomorrow and she's not going to be scared that she's going to lose any power because she's not.
No.
We need to get back to where these people need to be scared to fuck up because they will go to jail. They will get taken down off their throne and they'll be living a life of cast outedness. Other than that, man, I just don't know. I don't think that because the inmates are running the asylum.
Yep, that's exactly what it is. You know what I mean? It's almost, I can't even think of a solution. Like you said, it's gonna. So if you look at the way everything's working, tax rates are what, 30% or so for people. Is that a fair number, you think?
No.
So that's why I think about that, where I'm like, 30%. Does the government deserve 30% of my money? And I have talks with people that are like, well, what about the roads and this? I'm like, dude, the roads aren't being built every fucking day in my neighborhood. The roads got built, and they're built, and there's some maintenance that's needed, but not 30% of my money.
Right.
How is it? And then if let's say you make less money, 25% of your money, 20% of your money, how is that?
I can tell you, like as an independent contractor.
Yeah.
You just budget 20%.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. That just instantly goes away. So
you throw a number out there for a job, and you just go 20%. Have to save it.
But how much of your money is really going to benefits for the people in America compared to politicians' salaries and politicians' expenses and stuff like that?
And it's such a
like why are they allowed to make $220,000 a year if they're able to do all this trader activity that makes them so much money?
Right. That would be one thing, is you have to like go, hey guys, we're not giving you any money. Period. If you want to run for public office, you have to, write a book, do some speaking engagements, have money. We're not paying you. We're not paying for your interns. We're not paying for your staff. We're not doing this. It is pro bono.
Yep.
Okay. That would be a first step, But the problem is then you're going to get only like rich elite people running everything, right? In theory, that would be like the argument against it. Yeah.
That's not a bad argument against that, though. Actually, that actually does make sense. Because you're right.
Yeah, it makes it like
you're
starting
right.
out.
All the people running then would be a bunch of douchebag rich people that are the same problems that we have today. It would just be a different group of those same people.
Be bigger.
Yeah.
You wouldn't get like AOCs or regular people. It's very weird, man.
It
Very,
is.
very
We'll have
weird.
to figure out some answers for the world.
I think, you know, I think a lot of it too, like Lino, let's say you pay at the end of the year, you pay $5,000 worth of taxes just for round figures, right? Like you write a check for $5,000 for taxes. Okay. Like that's a huge amount of money for you, right?
Yeah.
That's like, that's a couple months worth of mortgage payments. That's, you could pay health insurance with that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that a lot of it has to do with, there's a certain amount of, this is some fucked up shit, but there's like a certain amount of oppression with taxes where they go, we can't have you making too much money until you like make a lot of money,
I still don't understand that though. Like, dude, I'll be real with you. So I've progressively made more money each year in my career. Like I can honestly look at my numbers and every year it gets better. But I can say that my life has gotten progressively better because of it. It's not like my life has gotten worse. My life's gotten better. I'm able to take more vacations. I'm able to save more. I'm able to, like, I don't understand how people making more money isn't better for the world.
That's right. It's always better for the world.
I have less stress in my life. Like, think about it, dude.
And guess what you're going to do if you have more money? You're going to spend more money.
Exactly.
So what are you doing? That means you're buying coffee at Starbucks, right? Let's use that as an example. So if you buy coffee at Starbucks, you're paying for a girl to go to college. You're paying for a kid to, go to trade school or whatever. So it's like it keeps money. Yeah, the second it goes into the government, it's ended.
Yeah.
The money's over.
It's gone.
It's infinite bureaucracy that really, like, taxing smaller people doesn't really do much except keep money out of their pocket. You're not really putting a dent in the other side. It's not like if they take $5,000 from you and $5,000 from me, that $10,000 is going to like change anything on on their side. It just goes into this vast wasteland of nothing.
It's fucking frustrating. I hate it.
It's really not. That's where, like, whenever people say, like, what about the roads and what about the streets? Like, that's not where that shit goes.
Dude, that's my point, where I'm like, dude, if I was like, dude, you know what's a good example? Like, we used to live in Orange County, and you remember you drive up to LA, and every road you drive on, you need to do your tires are all fucked up, your alignments,
potholes are everywhere.
But it's like, wait a minute, you know how much money you pay in taxes in LA? How the hell are all the roads so fucked up?
Right.
And it's like, this isn't going to roads. This is like, the hospitals are all fucked up as well. This isn't going to hospitals. This is going somewhere different. I don't know where, but it's not going to the people.
Especially, like, think about sales tax, gas tax. Like, just those two alone are in California are billions and billions and billions of dollars a year.
Yep.
And where the fuck does it go?
Yep.
Who knows? Well, you just go like.
A good example, electricity. Do you know how much money you pay per kilowatt hour in California for electricity?
No.
It's about 21 cents.
Yeah, I was going to say, I thought about 14 cents was, for whatever reason, the number. Okay, 21 cents.
How much do you think I pay here in North Carolina?
Like 8, 9?
5 cents.
Yeah, fuck you. Yeah, and that's everything in California.
Wait. Why the fuck does it cost 1 cents in California and 5 cents here in North Carolina?
It's because
you guys have got a bunch of solar panels and all this cool stuff out there. You guys have a nuclear factory. We don't have anything like that here in North Carolina. How?
The reason for all of that is just it is the. I know that it's so annoying because when you say this stuff, people are going to say that I sound or you sound or we sound conservative, and it's not conservative. It's just like the problem is there's bloated bureaucracy and California is entrenched in it, and it's a never-ending cycle of bullshit, and they're so out of their league, and you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like the government is so inefficient out here that it's just, why do we pay it? Because it's the only way to not have the whole thing come crumbling down, I guess.
And another good example is you guys have all these fucking fires with all your guys' stations all the time.
We have the largest body of water.
Yeah. It makes no sense to me where I'm like, what the hell is happening? Where it's like half of California burned down, oh, they had a PG&E transformer blow up and it burned down all of a city. Where you're like, what? What is happening?
Right. Or when you have a supply chain crisis. Okay, this is something that's happened a couple times now. Supply chain crisis. You have boats backed up. Boats have to anchor, so they drop anchor. They then pull on a oil pipeline. Now you have pipes bursting in the middle of a supply chain crisis in the ocean. And you just go, the reason we have to pay 21 cents a kilowatt hour is because these retards can't figure out how to get out of their own way.
Yeah, dude, and it drives me nuts. By the way, I think California is the best example of the golden city that's turned to shit.
It's just so bad.
Yeah, it's crazy.
It's a perfect example of you can see what it would be if it wasn't so fucked up. Like it still has bones that are good, like the views and the weather and
the weather is unbeatable. By the way, man,
the coastline.
Yeah, it's awesome.
The coastline is amazing.
Yeah.
You can snowboard and surf in the same day. So all that stuff in California is still great. It's the fucking bureaucracy, and they're just so sold on it. They can't. The idea of, hey, maybe the government is run by a bunch of morons. Like it doesn't even. No, they're the best that's ever done it.
Yeah. As LA has had a corrupt mayor, I think the last 4 in a row. Like
right, and San Francisco is just Sodom and Gomorrah.
No. That's too nice of a way to put it. Sodom and Gomorrah
right.
after
Sodom and Gomorrah is still partied.
Yeah, before
Sodom and Gomorrah.
Yeah, it's Sodom and Gomorrah after the fire. That's what it is. Like after that,
right.
After the fire and brimstone came. That's San Francisco. Very sad
man,
shit.
like when I was younger, San Francisco was the best. You grew up out there.
San Jose, and I remember like we called it the city, and it's like you want to go have fun. Friday night, you go up to the city. There's bars, clubs, everything you could think of was up there.
Yeah, it's rad.
Yeah, and now I haven't been in years. My cousin told me though last time we went that the warehouse, because what they used to do is they used to have good warehouse clubs. So like a promoter would come in and like they'd have like a dilapidated warehouse, and he'd be like, "Fuck yeah, this is a nightclub tonight," and he set up like speakers, drinks.
Yeah, it was its own scene,
and it's super illegal. Best nightclubs in the world though. Like you'd go to those, you'd be like, "This is dope." It'd be 3 a.m. Like they didn't care.
Hot
like,
chicks,
yeah, everywhere. Yeah, super hot. Yeah, blow everywhere. Like everyone's doing whatever the fuck they want. Like I was, 21 years old. Like this is cool. Like you know what
Crazy.
I mean? Yeah, exactly. So, those are gone now. He said he's like they don't even do that anymore. Like all the promoters have left.
Oh yeah, dude. Everybody's just doing parties out in the middle of the desert now.
That's what I'm saying. Either that, or he told me a lot of them went down to Florida.
Yep.
Florida's become the new Mecca.
Yeah. Dude. Florida.
The company I work for now is based out of Tampa.
Really?
Yep.
You gonna move there?
No, I don't know if I'm gonna move there.
Let me know. I'll buy a place with you.
Yeah. We looked at places over there. Just I don't know if that's the plan right now. But
dude, and the thing is, what worries me about it is the market is so high. I don't know if I necessarily want to like spend a bunch of money on something that I'm not 100% sure about because I don't live there.
Yep.
Does that make sense?
Dude, our neighbor next door just sold his house for $425,000.
Jesus.
We bought these things for $290,000.
Oh my god, dude. That's Nancy Pelosi return on investment.
Dude,
bro.
that's what I said to Camille. I'm like, babe, we should have bought 2 of these things. What the hell were we thinking?
Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, that's amazing.
Yeah.
That's like 50%.
Yep. Dude, and if prices keep going up, I told Camilla we'll probably be at $450,000 by the summer.
What are you gonna do?
So Camilla's already got a plan where she wants to sell this house and buy another house.
Where?
I'm recording right now, so we'll talk about this afterwards.
Okay. My question is, like, the problem is, when you sell in a high market, that means you got to turn around and buy in a high market.
That's the other problem here. So we're looking at houses and, like,
for example, let's say you were to sell your house, you buy your house for $280,000, you're going to turn around and sell it for $450,000. Are you going to turn around just to buy another $280,000 house that's now worth $450,000 because it's the market?
No, because we're gonna have to get a piece of shit. Camilla wants to buy like a way bigger house, way nicer.
Right.
But it's
so
like,
you just take around, you turn around, and you take the money, you add to it.
Yeah.
And now you get a $600,000 house for $450,000.
Exactly, and that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. Crazy.
Hopefully in a better neighborhood or in a nice neighborhood. That's what Camilla wants, is like a nicer, quiet neighborhood. So
Oh, really?
yeah. She likes that
Cool.
quiet living. But I'm gonna stop this recording here.